Indonesia is a big country with 250 million people distributed across 34 provinces and more than 500 districts and municipalities. Some of them are landlocked, some are remote and small islands, and some are mega cities like Jakarta and Surabaya. This is the first and our biggest challenge to ensure that the principle of no one left behind in SDGs is met. Indonesia has prepared some important steps for implementing SDGs. Our commitment to mainstream the 2030 agenda started with the adoption of SDGs as one of the references of the National Medium-Term Development Plan for 2015 to 2019, which was enacted by presidential decree to align the goals and most of the targets of SDGs. At national level, Indonesia has 9 development priority agendas for 2015 to 2019, or called as Nawacita. Similar to SDGs, Nawacita also prioritizes on high-risk and marginalized groups. Nawacita is a vehicle to implement SDGs in Indonesia. Complex and rigorous process has led to SDGs targets being reflected in 20 national priorities in National Midterm Development Plan, or RPJMN 2015 to 2019, and 96 out of 169 SDGs targets are already integrated. As reflection of the highest commitment and leadership of the President of the Republic of Indonesia to implement SDGs, a presidential decree on SDGs is formulated and has reached the final stage for enactment. The SDGs principle is more comprehensive. Indonesia is adopting the SDGs principles for localizing the SDGs in Indonesia. Universality. This principle means that SDGs is not only implemented by developing countries, but also by developed countries, as this is a global action towards achievement of sustainable development. Integrated. SDGs integrates social, economic, and environment dimensions as its main dimension and focuses on sustainable development. No one left behind means that SDGs benefits to all, especially vulnerable and marginalized ones, while also involving all stakeholders. To manage the implementation, as well as to monitor SDGs, Indonesia has clustered the 17 goals, 169 targets, and 240 indicators of SDGs into 4 pillars to localize the SDGs in Indonesia. The 4 pillars revert to the 3 dimensions of sustainable development, which are social development, economic development, and environment development. Plus, 1 pillar covers Goal 16 and Goal 17 on inclusive development and means of implementation, or MOI, with specific reasoning to enhance the peace, justice, and strong institutions, as well as partnerships for all goals in Indonesia. Indonesian government is committed to be the forefront pioneer and a role model to achieve SDGs, which was declared in September 2015. We have adopted the principles in the forthcoming presidential decree on Indonesian SDGs, which regulates the inclusive participation of multi-stakeholders. 4 platforms of SDGs are established in Indonesia to adopt the SDGs principle of inclusive and no one left behind. These platforms consist of government and parliament, academia and expert, philanthropy and business, and the 4th platform is civil society organizations and media. Each platform has specific but interconnected roles. Even though we are fortunate that in the last 8 months, the 4 platforms have started to work together, we still have to work hard for meaningful participation. The government, both at national and subnational level, have roles on developing policy and regulation, formulating, planning, and allocating budget, implementing, as well as to monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. While the function of the House of Representatives are to oversight SDGs budget and implementation, and monitoring, as well as to apprehend, gather, accept, and follow up not only the constituent but also citizens' aspiration. Private sector and the civil society have started to allocate resources for SDGs achievement, and they are willing to be held accountable. The academia are establishing SDGs centers, and they will be our allies to implement SDGs. Our universities, public and private, have to be challenged to create breakthrough in science and technology in addressing lagging behind SDGs. Government of Indonesia has close partnership with all stakeholders. Indonesia has initiated efforts to integrate SDGs into national and subnational development plans with available budget allocations for sustained program activities. Special attention is given to ensure that commitment and programs are consistent with local context and priorities and address needs. Localizing SDGs is conducted with 3 emphases: mainstreaming, acceleration of SDGs attainment, and policy supports or MAPs that can be delivered in tandem.
Di dalam SDG sekarang ini, cakupannya lebih luas, terkait juga masalah ekonomi dan environment atau lingkungan, tidak hanya sosial. Jadi tantangan ke depan makin besar, sesuai dengan arahan Bapak Presiden. Bappenas diminta mengkoordinasikan dari program SDG ke depan dari tahun 2015 sampai tahun 2030.
The Ministry of National Development Planning has been assigned as the coordinator of the national SDGs implementation, which consists of steering committee, implementation team, technical working group, and expert panel. The team will be supported by National SDGs Secretariat. Government of Indonesia will coordinate the formulation of SDGs roadmap as a planning document of strategic steps to achieve SDGs 2016 to 2030. National Action Plan as a 5-year plan document to implement activities directly and indirectly to achieve SDGs, and facilitate the formulation of sub-national action plan as a 5-year plan document. Indonesia has committed to implement SDGs with ensuring no one left behind and inclusive participation.